allow the two days. It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. She off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary politico, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my egun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my egun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my egun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo. My egun don't come, oh, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo. My egun don't come, oh, yo. Mayegun la wa mo la mo dododo. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun la wa mo la mo dododo. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary na ibi number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary na ibi number one. Bó bá ṣe àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary na ibi number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary na ibi number one. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary na ibi number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary na ibi number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹ́gọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary na ibi number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary na ibi number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. àní ẹ̀ṣọ́ra jíjó ìgbádìyẹ àní ẹ̀ṣọ́ra pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o àní ẹ̀ṣọ́ra kí gómìnà kówó jẹ àní ẹ̀ṣọ́ra
Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Mayegun live. Thank you so much for joining me. As you are tuning in, remember, make sure that you read beyond the caption of this broadcast. Read the description of the broadcast. Like it. Share it. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends. And tell them all that Mayegun today, Mayegun is live. Thank you very much once again. So tonight, I have come with the other version of the outrage that followed what happened in Uromi, in Edo State, including the reactions of some Edolites as well to what they called an act of a betrayal on the part of their governor, who went to Kano to beg for forgiveness. While also, like I said, the other version of the story, there's a young man who made a video categorically threatening the people of southern Nigeria by giving the governor of Edo, as well as the president of Nigeria, Tifnumbu, 48 hours ultimatum to I'll show you. Then, since you know a lot of people have been reacting, to what they call the hypocrisy of the North, since this lynching story happened, the unfortunate incident that happened in Uromi, that a lot of Northerners found their voices, even though 2 days ago, another young man was killed at a camp in Abuja. Same rage is not really applicable. Within there too, we have found some Northerners who have added their own voices, in the same kind of like supportive, voice. They were also calling out their fellow Northerners in what they call the hypocrisy of the North, while the Fulani terrorists continue to terrorize the people, killing, the indigenous people across Nigeria. And you never get to hear anything from these emergency sort of lovers of humanity after what happened there in Uromi. We will come to that. Also, last night, the Kogi state government, led by Olodo of Kogi, made a pronouncement. It's much like banning any social gathering, any form of rallies, and what have you, in Kogi State, in what was considered as a show of power over the people between the camp of Yahaya Bello, Olodo, and that of Natasha. Because the camp that is sponsoring the recall process of Natasha is no other than the Yahaya Bello's camp. There is even a ripe rumor that the plan is to replace Natasha with Yahaya Bello. However, the announcement from Olodo of Kogi came because there was a report that Natasha Akpoti will be returning back to Nigeria today. Something that they also heard are districts, senatorial districts, that they were organizing a reception, a welcome back reception for her in the middle of all this, recall her sexual harassment allegation against Akpabiole, the effort that Akpabiole and his gang have put into discrediting her and her story, and at the same time, shake her a little bit to make her apologize. So in the midst of all of this, one of the things that they possibly didn't plan well, right, is to, in a democracy, for political reason, to ban a reception organized for somebody who is actually very popular among our people. So today, as you possibly have seen it online, I have here, right, loads of what happened as Natasha returned back from her foreign trip. So some people were like, because she raised an alarm, she said they plan to arrest her upon her return to Nigeria. And the allegation against her would be that she misrepresented, no, there's a word for that. It's like she fraudulently presented herself as a senator when she was told categorically that she cannot go out there and present herself as a senator of Nigeria. Then she went as far as appearing on international media, still lambasting Akpabiole. So the DSS, the police, and wherever that were actually drafted into arresting her, right, made a lot of people to look forward to whenever she returned back to Nigeria. So when the Olodo of Kogi announced that there will be no political gathering, there will be no gathering anywhere in Kogi State for the next 7 days, so like, what the heck was that? So when Natasha returned, she didn't only have this massive reception, she also used the platform to reiterate what she's been telling the whole world about the people that are after her. She told her audience that Akpabiole consulted Yahaya Bello that what would it take to eliminate her. Now, this is another allegation that is now like a murder attempt, kind of. So she said a lot. So it's better we get into it while others join us. So share the broadcast if you haven't, like it if you haven't, and then sit back, relax, and let's go to Kogi State.
Sorry. Why them open your door? Okay, let's straight. Naturally. Okay, let's straight. Okay, let's.
There is more. Now, person with the one recall be that, you know, the one that Yahaya Bello and his gang said they have received or secured 250,000 signatures to recall her for not representing them. So I think, you know, the plausible side, right? So these are homecoming stuff, is to, number one, dispel the social media made sort of reality, yeah, that somehow these guys have the political will to deal with that. Meanwhile, in reality, the real reality, they don't. So if not for the corrupt system, right, that will likely still allow them to deal with that. So our whole response is to say, these are the people you probably feels like I don't represent well. These are the people that you think are not with me, kind of. They end the defiance, you know, And she said it. She said it in that gathering. She said, INEC is holding the hands of those who are planning to recall her, those who claim to have submitted petition to recall her. They've made mistakes and all of that. INEC had to put it into the public and say, okay, we'll help you, to get it right and all that. So it's like an institutionalized, sort of, warfare, kind of. I think, not lawfare, it's lawfare. Anyway, we are going to go back to, to the scene where Natasha, right, addressed our people. And then she said some new stuffs that until today, she never said anything about that, including the attempt to actually kill her. So things are now more serious than, than what some of you think. And Akpabiole, how desperate is he? And how boxed to the corner is he? Because I also have a few things I must have heard. But to these Kogi Central people and Natasha, let's go back to the scene.
Pay attention to what I'm going to say. It is good to be here. You know, he may come out there. It is good to be home. And nobody, and nothing
At all. Nobody.
On how to perfect their illicit acts. The first time the petition was submitted, they didn't have address, phone numbers, and all of that. So INEC went out to guide them on how to submit information that will perfect their petition.
Is it right?
And what did they do? The petitioners who were from the other party, the APC, now submitted a letterhead. What's the name of it? Kogi Central Political Frontier. Yes. And the address there was number 4, Oboroke. That address does not exist. And we ran a check on the status of registration of the association which sponsored my recall, Kogi Central Political Frontier, and the CAC report came negative that that association is not registered. So I'm still waiting. I'm wondering why INEC has not yet made a statement to that effect, or sent people down to Oboroke here, which is just 5 minutes away, to ascertain whether that address is real. Or have we stooped to the point whereby fictitious, non-existing associations and individuals can call for the recall of a senator? Are we in a kangaroo country? No! We should not allow that. So now, I don't know whether the process will be stalled, but we are in courts as well. Also, I don't know when they will come down here to verify you, but I will say this. If the time ever comes for the verification of the 250,000 people that signed for my recall, I trust that you will do right. I trust that you will speak, that you did not... What's going on with that car?
Overheating.
It's overheating.
Yes, overheating.
Tell them to come out of that car and switch off. Please come out of the car. Look at what's going on. One thing I was going to say. Yes. You see, the fact that we have leaders, when a person is appointed to a leadership position or elected to a leadership position, that does not mean that they are absolutely right in every decision they make. I was suspended for 6 months, which is against the Constitution. Nigeria's constitution does not allow the suspension of elected officers. But again, the Senate says it is guided by its rules. But what does the Senate rule provide for suspension of? Here you have those in authority violating the Constitution and playing God through abuse of power. Not only is it illegal, because the signatures that were used attached to my suspension were all attendance sheets. They were not signatures that were attached to the suspension report. So that suspension itself is saddled with lots of irregularities. And it amounts to gross they themselves, the entire team that sat on it, and the Senate president, that he was a judge in his own cause. All the entire procedure amounts to what they call gross irregularity, gross injustice.
Gross Akpabio.
And I know that in the fullness of time, God is going to turn around that for our victory. You see, lies may tarry but for a while. Truth will always prevail. But while we wait unto God, because you see, God does things in miraculous ways. God's time is different.
It's all about God, you know. Natasha Akpoti, the daughter of Dr. Jimo Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, the daughter of Dr. Jimo Akpoti, a local politician whose mark is pretty much well documented in the Kogi state politics. She is very smart, and she is the daughter of her own father. Remember that. She says she's not afraid of them. There are many factors that will make her never to be afraid of them. She is half Russian, yeah, half Nigerian. Also, She is married to one of Nigeria billionaires, and in every step, she would acknowledge her husband's influence on her life and on her politics. Something that, well, so many of these factors that, like I said, that she's very intelligent, right, smart enough to put to her own advantage. She's not slowing down enough that she is confident again that as much as Nigeria's system is so like corrupt, right? She is no mean or small player in the whole scheme. So practically she's not 100% like, you know, innocent of, you know, the rot itself. But as a woman, those who are dealing with her might have possibly underrated her in something that, to me, again, is working in her own advantage. So this is the part where she told her people about the plot. Apart from all of this, imagine an organization that is planning to recall a senator. Like she said, they have no known address, but they put up a fake address, a non-existing address, right? And possibly fake contacts that, you know, if properly investigated, is also maybe fraud. The people that, the video of how they claim to obtain the 250,000 signatures, which in itself is invasion of the people's data, who released the voters register, like from the INEC, who released that to them, enough that they perused it and they started forging signatures of people, which is what INEC said they are going to go and verify. In all of this, as some have said that what she is doing is going to be detrimental to the opportunities that the women or you know, the females in Nigerian politics, you know, should be enjoying, like the doors that should have been opened for future female lawmakers and other elective positions, that Natasha's action is going to possibly prevent that. So in all of this, except for those who, because normally, right, we have all taken sides, you know. There are so many people who are in this not because they really care about Natasha per se. There are many people who are in this because they possibly have this PTSD, personal experience of how wealthy people believe that they can get away with anything. Politicians and people who claim to be powerful. So from that, seeing somebody stand up to the powerful, right, is something that naturally they will support from their own personal experience. There are those who are just like, everything just got a jare, made them burn themselves. They say, do you know Akpabiole? Say, yeah, I do. Do you know Natasha? Yeah. So which one do you prefer him to? I don't stand any of them. Made them kind of like escalate everything, burn everything down, made this Nigeria, made everything scatter, we'll go restart. There are those like that. So to them, it doesn't matter who is right or who is wrong. To them, it is an opportunity to further possibly know more the inner workings of the criminals ruining Nigeria. So if this presents this opportunity, fine. While, like I said, many others are just like, can't stand the injustice. Doesn't matter who is involved, whether you are rich or poor, whether you are a senator or a shoemaker. To them, the sense that this is not right, they will stand up and speak. And I think I belong to that letter myself in this regard, but I share in the sentiment of those who possibly would like to see how these guys tear themselves apart and eventually burn down the entire system that keeps popping them up every now and then. Because if it gets to a stage where somebody says they are planning to kill me, on top waiting. Yeah? Somebody said, is it because of this sitting arrangement or no sitting arrangement? Listen to her.
Then I will say this, and I'm saying this openly as well. On the 14th day of March, at about 10:30 p.m. On the 14th day of March, at about 10:30 p.m. I got calls that Governor Yahaya Bello was with Akpabio. That night. Now let me say this now. On the 14th of March at 10:30 p.m., mind you, 2 days before that, which was on the 12th, Akpabio had called Governor Olodo on the phone that he should commence my recall. But Governor Olodo told him it would be impossible. No, hold on. This was what Governor Olodo said on the 12th. Listen. He said, on the 12th of March, Akpabio spoke to Governor Olodo to recall me. But he told him to be impossible because the masses are with her, the people are with her. But Akpabio was not satisfied. He then sent for Yahaya Bello. And it was actually Senator Asukwo from Cross River that drove Yahaya Bello from Hilton Hotel. I was informed of everything. And when I got to know, hold on, the meetings was in two folds. He told him to commence my recall. And that he was going to fund it. Of course, monies changed hands that night. The second thing he told him was that he should try and kill me. I didn't make this public, but I wrote to the IG of police. And Akpabio told Yahaya Bello, I am saying, standing by what I've said. He told him that he should make sure that killing me does not happen in Abuja, it should be done here. So it will seem as if it's the people that killed me here. I didn't make that public, but we did notify the security agencies of that. I called on the media houses. I called on This Day, I called on Punch, I called on a number of journalists that I know. I tried to get them publish the information ahead of time. That look, this is the nature of the meeting. They are going to commence my recall. But of course, the print media, if you don't have evidence, they will not be able to put it out. So they said, Natasha, do you have any evidence that your recall is being planned? I said, I don't have any evidence, but I know that the meeting took place and this was what transpired. But you see, 3 days after, the recall started and they called me, oh, you said it. I said, I did tell you that this was going to happen. But what is it now for us? We saw what happened. They came around, deceived our women that there was an empowerment program going on. They told them to come.
And that is the lady behind the record. She's also the same lady in blue dress with Yahaya Bello. So she looked like Yahaya Bello with a wig, kind of, and earrings. If you probably look very well, right? It's like Yahaya Bello with a wig. If you put the wig on Yahaya Bello now and put the cap on her, she's probably going to be like Yahaya Bello is leading the record. Do you get the message? They are not related though. No, they are not. She is a special advisor to Olodo of Kogi. So Olodo of Kogi told Akpabiole that to recall Natasha, my hard you, very hard you. In fact, they didn't use hard. They said it's impossible. That is Yahaya Bello says stoogie. So that's when they called Yahaya Bello, and Yahaya Bello called Omole, the female Yahaya Bello, that you will think she's his sister. Like if I present her to you that she's Yahaya Bello's sister, I believe that 90% of you watching this will probably believe it. For the moment, later you get to know that they're not related. They are related because she's married. What if the Omole in her name is her husband's name? What if her real name is something Yahaya Bello Omole? I don't know. And they do that too in Nigeria. Women supporting women in the mud. So while I was practically still recovering from a video I'm about to share with you, was when we had this breaking news. Natasha has defied Olodo of Kogi, damned Yahaya Bello, and everyone else. She's on her way to Okene. But while majority of you were celebrating, it was yesterday, Salah, was that 2 days ago? Idil Fitri, was that 2 days ago, right? The terrorists in Nigeria, somewhere in Shokot, in Kaduna, they were also marking Idil Fitri, the end of Ramadan. The hypocrisy in this is that Ramadan to Muslims is considered the holiest month of the calendar year. Do you understand? It's like a special month that somehow, if these guys, these jihadists, are true Muslims, they will respect that month, Abi. They will probably just take a break. There will be no kidnapping, there will be no killing, and all of that stuff. But that's not the case. So during the Ramadan, they were killing people. They were kidnapping people. They were ransacking villages, Papa. They were doing horrible things that, although the kind of reaction you are getting now because of Uromi, right? They are very scarce, non-existent to all these their activities. Let me show you briefly, right? And please tell your children that these are bad people, very, very bad people. Just say that to them so that they won't see it as maybe because they are doing Allah Akbar, right? Maybe people are just getting them wrong. These are murderers, rapists, plunderers. You know what I mean? These are like murderers. Okay? And here is another thing to also put out there. They are so comfortable in that contraption to show to you that doesn't seem like they are really looking for them. I have a theory. It is practical too. I'll tell you when I come back from this.
اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات اللهم اقسم لنا من خشيتك ما تقول له بيننا وبين معصيتك اللهم توفنا مسلم أيها المصلون أو أيها الناس فمنها أن يكبر المسلم في ليلة عيد الفطر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر ولله الحمد إلى أن يخرج الإمام المصلى عيد وقال تعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون وقال عز وجل على الذين يطيقونه فدية طعام مسكين وقال تعالى ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كان يخرج في يوم الفطر فيكبر وحتى يأتي مصلى ويقضي الصلاة وكان ابن عمر رضي الله عنه إذا آذى يوم عيد الفطر ويوم أضحى يجهر بالتكبير حتى يأتي مصلى ثم يكبر حتى يأتي إمام ومنها أن تجمل فيلبس الثياب تحب أحسن ثيابه ويغتسل ذهب للصلاة فإنه مستحب بإجماع العلماء وتحب أن يأكل بالثمر ديات ماء بقر أو لحم الخروف اللهم إني أسألك العفو والعافية في الدنيا والآخرة وما توفيقي إلا بالله عليه توكلت وإليه أنيب أقول قولي هذا فأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Video.
malaman kawai
shi ne kana tura shi tafiya dan dauko daga kyamaran
zan sai ta shi ina son sai ta shi
wannan shugaban nan wa nabiyana manzon mu wa habibana masoya
The area where that actually happened is called Maidaro, Sabombrini in East Kaduna, in the forest called Dogondawa Forest in Kaduna, in all those ungoverned areas. No can not do mistake enter where they take all their victims to. I was having a chat. Please tell me if you think imagination won't finish me. Please tell me, because I don't know, my mind actually does imagine things like practical things. So when I think of the terrorism unleashed on Nigeria by the Fulani terrorists, as well as the Akanuri, what do you call them, Hausawa Boko Harams, and other ethnic nationality forming different kind of terrorists up north, you know, importing them, or so you say exporting them down south and all that. I'm like, normally they would tell you that it's not possible to end terrorism. If it was easier to end terrorism by the military might or what have you, America would have defeated all terrorists, you know, like all over the place. And I am like, I wouldn't want to possibly start educating you why America can't defeat terrorism, because America, yeah. But in the case of Nigeria, it is also similar. When you are making kill so much money from the insecurity in your country, even if it is destroying your economy, impoverishing your people, but come on, in a restless, what do you call it? In a country where people have no peace of mind, more worried about what to eat, they probably won't have what it takes to challenge the system, even when the system is in the gutters. So it works for them. A terrorized Nigeria works for them. Divided Nigeria works for them. But it's just that not broken up Nigeria like the normal break up Nigeria. That is what doesn't work for them. So I'm like, if I probably want to be, even though I don't have that military background or what have you, okay? But you and I, like I said, practical idea that you and I can relate with. And those who are the experts can put resources towards it, Abi. But the reason why it won't work is because those who are supposed to do this have turned the terrorism into an industry in that contraption. So what was what's my idea? I'll tell you. I said, when you look at the map of Nigeria, and you see that drawing, let me put something similar on the screen so that you can have an idea of what I'm talking about, right? Some of you probably do have an idea, okay? So let's use this coloring, color, okay? Now, when you look at that place where you see Bodlio written Nupe, right? Then when you go top of it, let's start from that Nupe. You see that line up here underneath it, the one that went on to Dibo, from Dibo, that went on to that line, you know, on and on like that. Just keep going to your right. That yellow name there, right? Keep going and keep going until you get to the far right, to the end of the far right. Just straight line like that. And you go to Samba cluster. You get that now? That's Samba. So that is like drawing a straight line on the map. And then you identify where and where that line crosses on that map. And then you say, okay, Nigeria currently have about 100 and, is that, because I think I read that somewhere, 189,000 active military men. And at the same time, they also have over 200,000 reserves. Is that even true? Is that even true? I've never seen anybody in Nigeria that will say, I am a reserve. Somebody put out that line, because I don't know. Anybody here who is a soldier? Do you have a reserve that, you know, once they kill all these 189,000 people, so you have to carry gun, you know, like reserve? Do you have that in Nigeria, Sha? Anyway, my plan, right? I only need just 40,000 40,000 soldiers, servicemen, including Air Force, you know, including Navy concept, because I'm a jet in water, because if we enter anywhere, we visit in our water area, so we need the people who are going to, you know, it's like if we position you here, and we say, like I said, a straight line, and then you have to create base from one end of the country to the other end of the country like that. And as you put them there, so each base, you will divide the 40,000 men. You divide them. And you say, you call on, like I said, if you think imagination won't wound me, or maybe I don't watch too much America movies, you can call me back and say, Mayegun, enough. So, but remember, this is just my plan of saying, if you indeed, you are not in bed with the terrorists, killing and terrorizing people, so comfortable that they are holding public lecture. People are paying taxes. Nigerians are paying taxes to terrorists in Nigeria. So if the criminals in Nigeria who are spending so much trillions of your money in procuring ammunition that they are always using elsewhere, but I'll come to that. But this is me now. So, how many Tucano jets? Captain Jejeman says, sir, how many Tucano jets do we have? Say, we have 6. How many of them are still working? 2.5, but 2 sharp. Okay, 2 Tucano day. How many gunship helicopters do we have? Those ones where would they do mistake bombing? How many are they? We have like 5. Okay, 5 or 7. Okay, good. Now, how many APC do we have? Armored personnel carrier. Like, put all of everything together, create base, and tell them to march until they get to the border of Nigeria and Cameroon, Nigeria and Niger, Nigeria and Chad, Nigeria and the Benin Republic. I don't care. Like, until you get to that, but anything you see moving, shoot out. Oh, sorry. Because now states, the guest states, I'm not talking about their cities. Sure, you get shot because their job as they are marching, when they get to cities, they could behave like, sure, you get. So I said, those who are marching on foot are marching. When they march to Niger State, to Zamfara, to Nasarawa, from there to part of a plateau hill, Benue hill, get to Sokoto, Katsina, Kano, Kebbi, Adamawa, Taraba, all those, as they are clearing, you give them the mandate of 6 months. You know that kind of thing. Anything where they carry gun. And then you make a deal. Here is my deal for the 40,000. Number one, your salary will be ₦1 million at the minimum. ₦1 million per month. And 100 million naira insurance. So what does that mean? If anything happens that you get killed in that, in that clearance, well, your life insurance pay from the military, if you have others, you can do it. From the military will be from 100 million naira. Then you can contract that to any private PPP company and say, come and insure the Nigerian soldiers. So that if anything happens to them, nobody said they're going to give them 1.5 million naira. Starting from 100 million, 200 million naira. Give them substantial money, that's or more. And then give them 6 months mandates. Yeah? So when they do the clearance, it doesn't mean that somehow, some of the terrorists won't slip through their hand. But by the time the operation is done, you see this Fulani terrorist, and every other will be terrorist. From that side, when they see the border of Nigeria, when they get to the border, they go, no, even though border no day, they go feel and say, I take me yato. You know that kind of thing. And any terrorist apprehended, just build one big camp, underground camp, right? In Sambisa Forest, right? And I don't want to say what I have in mind on that, okay? But you get what I mean. You can send them also down south, sweep down, and before you know it, you are likely going to end the terrorists and the terrorism by more than 60% because you still have to cut off their funding. You get what I mean? There are those who have become embedded in your system that it is actually lucrative for them to keep giving information to these terrorists and all that. But in the absence of all of this, like I said, if my imagination won't kill me or won't wound me, I think it is high time because everybody can imagine how it should be. But there are those who have the resources, who have the capacity to actually do it. But because the system is so corrupt, it is so corrupt, right? That the terrorists are living like kings. Yeah? Terrorists are living like kings. And their victims, they are expected to keep shut up your mouth. And you know, I have said it on this platform many times that many Nigerians, in fact, majority of you, are walking time bomb because you are living in a place where, number one, when you cry, you are likely never going to see anybody to say sorry to you. Everybody go, they work out, they go. Now you know what they make you cry. Here you get, nobody will say sorry to you. You are living in a place where some of the things that you should have been able to express yourself, discuss them, open up, you have to bottle them in. You go to the shop today, a tin of milk is sold for 200 naira. You screamed inside. But by the only thing you could mutter, the only thing you could say is to say, ha! The rest of your anger is inside, bottled. This country. You come back the following day for the same tin of milk. It is now 400 naira. The same one you used to buy for 70 naira, it is now 400 naira. The following day. And then they say 400 naira. You say, You put it inside, bottled it. You went out there to go and buy, a few liters of fuel in order to power your generator so that you can work from home, only for you to, get to the filling station and then 2,000 naira liter, 2,000 naira fuel, they carry 2 liter, give you. You open it, you're like, I used to buy 10 liters for this 2,000 naira. What kind of a country is this? You are enraged. And that is exactly what life is for an average Nigerian. Not even average, everybody. So they now developed a coping mechanism where, so that is why when people hear that people have been killed, their reaction is almost like they are pretty much like dead cold, They killed so people, Can you imagine? Oh, that country, now only God will save us, Jerry. So people have to resort into whatever they can do, like what they can do in time of rage. And it doesn't really matter how that goes, right? In time of rage, where they can't think because there's no point, right? So when this is us now going back to Edo State, by the way, people who have become so traumatized. If a member of your family is kidnapped, millions of naira is paid, and that individual is still killed by these terrorists. And do you see the kind of guns in the hands of those murderers in that video, right? So if you have encountered them, there is a chance that apart from the disappointments of a failed government, the hardship in the country, like the cost of living crisis and all that, it is now possible that in the last 8 years, the Fulani terrorists, the Boko Haram terrorists, ISWAP 1, ISWAP 2, Lakurawa, Nigeria branch, right? That they have possibly traumatized more Nigerians. And when I say traumatized, Nigerians are already traumatized. But their trauma comes from so many things, known things. Yeah, the hardship, or the police brutality, and all of that. Yeah. There is also some member of our own communities whose trauma is what these terrorists have done to them. And they live with that open wound. When you hear their stories, right? Again, if you care to hear their stories, you are then going to understand that there are some of them that they might still be looking like humans, still try to want to be reasonable and all that, but that's the most they can do, because situations like these have damaged people as well, beyond what you can think. So when these northerners were reacting, the way they have reacted so far, right? The southerners, well, they've had enough too. And you've heard all of that in the last 2 days. But what you haven't heard, I mean, on this platform, is to actually put a face on a message that also simply, went viral on the internet a few days back or 2 days ago. A young man, a northerner, there came online and said he actually justified the killings of Deborah Samuel. Remember Deborah? One of the painful events that so many Nigerians still can't understand how that could ever happen. Another one is that of Titilope Arotile, that young lady. Deborah was not mobbed or killed by a literate, right? She was not mobbed or killed by, some passerbys. She was targeted and killed, burned to ashes by a fellow student. You understand? Fellow students in their college. So do you understand that? So people have been popping that up as well. But there's this guy. Oh, I want to listen to him. I'm sorry, boy. Please.
Good morning, my fellow Nigerians. So, I have seen a lot of people complaining that justice for Deborah, justice for Deborah. So, if you haven't forgotten the southerners, Deborah was not killing just for no reason. Deborah was killed because she abused the holy prophet, our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Have you ever seen any northerner abusing Jesus? No. There is no any northerner that have abused Jesus. No, it has never happened. But those stupid Christians among you, the stupid among you, the dumbest among you abuse the holy prophet, and you think that we will keep quiet and see? That is the law. Anybody that abuses our prophet, he or she will be killed. Because don't forget. Go and find the name. We have never abused Jesus, and we will never. Because let me tell you something that you don't know. In Islam, that is our religion. If you abuse Jesus, you are no more a Muslim. That is Prophet Isa alayhi salam. As we know him, not Jesus, but his name is Prophet Isa. Number one, the only difference between we and you people are, we only believe that Jesus is a prophet, is a messenger sent from Allah, that is the God, the creator of all creators. You consider a human being as a God. Imagine. He is a prophet and a messenger. Don't forget that. Let me tell you something. If these actions are not taken against these 16 northerners that are killed in Edo, anything that follows to your people here in the north, you are the people that cause it. Mr. President Bola Tinubu, this is a message direct to you. And His Excellency, the Governor of Edo State, Mr. Monday, this is also a message directly to you. You know, you have many of your people in the north, more especially Borno State, Kano State, Jos, Kaduna, Jigawa, not Jigawa, but I think around Adamawa people. So there are many Christians here. We won't consider whether you are from Edo, whether if you are from Cote d'Ivoire, definitely if you are a southerner, the thing that will follow are caused by you people, that is you and President Tinubu. Some of the actions will be taken within these 48 hours, because we will do this thing when it is very harsh, because we won't allow our heart to have patience. Let it be the last warning. 48 hours is enough. 48 hours is enough. Time is not against you. Time is against us. The president, you only have few minutes. Few minutes, not even hours, minutes. Fetch out those people that this saw. Because if actions are not taken, you have your people here. Then we will do same to them. Thank you.
That's the video. So the young man put his face on a message that threatens Christians in northern Nigeria. And like he said, we don't care whether you are Edo or you are a Cote d'Ivoire. We don't. We will retaliate on your people here. I haven't seen the news of his arrest yet. But if you have, you can share. No? But there have been other reactions too, because the only thing, or the only difference here between what Yusuf told Akpabio, right, is that he didn't say they are going to probably start killing Christians in Kano and other places. But they are grateful the way Akpabio came to promise to compensate the families of the victims. You know, he even spoke Hausa at some point, you know, to placate them. But listen to both videos here, these two.
Some of the men say Allah Yaseni. Tobe Allah Yaseni. Jia Allah Yaseni. Bahakaba. Ama Allah ya baka. Allah ya. Allah ya doka. Bahakaba. So, wallahi, there's some justice. There's some justice. Yanzu, akwai arrest for 2 persons. Suna the police. Inshallah, komi dey. By the grace of God, police dey. So nagode.
This time for crime. My prayer on behalf of the Prime Minister, on behalf of the people of the state, I know you have started taking action like we said. Many of them are apprehended. We would want to see them peacefully paraded so that Nigerians and the families could see them to know yes, they were apprehended. That, Your Excellency, will go a long way in making the families and their own brothers happy. We appeal to the security agencies to please help and parade them, show them, so that all these camera people will take photographs and will be disseminated so that the world will see, yes, these are the people that perpetrated that crime. Our appeal number 2, Your Excellency, I have every confidence of you. What now? When you were a senator, you performed excellent, exceedingly well. I know you to be a man of his word, a man of integrity. So we believe in your words. Ensuring justice is done is also our prayer. They should be taken to court so that they can reap from where they sow. The victim's family should be compensated. I have every belief you will do that. On a final note, Your Excellency, extend our appreciation on behalf of the government, the good people of the state, and the families of those that lost their lives. Extend our appreciation to the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu DCFR. The federal government has done also a very good job.
Nuisance lily.
Did you see Monday, Okodoyo, the governor of Edo State? Monday, Okodoyo, the governor of Edo State, sat there, and Yusuf, right, was telling him what they expected him to do. We understand you said people have been arrested. Thank you very much for that. But we want you to parade them for the camera people. That's how he said. He said, for the camera people to take their pictures for us. And then you make sure you take them to court. That justice is done. So some people are already saying that the two of them are the two Fulanis, Okodoyo and Yesufu. You see, somebody said, no, even sure say the Yusuf that they threw inside the canal that time, inside the Quran. Say therefore don't leave them for inside the canal. This Yusuf. So they now call the two of them. The one on the left is Okodoyo, the governor of Edo. The other one is the creation of Kwakwansop. His name is Yusuf, you know. And they call the two of them the two Fulanis. Because back home, even the godfather of Okodoyo, right, once told everyone about the atrocities of the Fulanis in Edo State. Adamu Oshiomole once said this.
Like Senator Neda stated in the motion, it is not only in Ovia. In fact, it will be more correct to say that the entire Edo State is under siege by bandits and by terrorists and by headers. We have terrible pictures of people who have been murdered in cold blood, men and women. In fact, someone's compound has been turned to a graveyard by terrorists and bandits. This is the farming season. It's already raining. Rains have already started in Edo State and I believe in part of southern Nigeria. This is the time our farmers go to farm. And with the level of killings and banditry and kidnapping in Edo State, most of our farmers are now not able to go to the farm.
Before I go on, let me postulate from the Franz Fanonian dictum which stipulates that the dialectics of reconciling two conflicting ideas is the algebra of revolution. The overbearing intervention of the state government had further exacerbated oporompium and amounting to sadomasochisms.
Oshiomole, saying it as I believe it is, or it was, and then it still is, on the experience of this farmer.
And I want to greet the whole Nigeria, the whole East and West, the whole Edo State. Look at what cow did in my farm. Look at it. Cow just enter my farm, just destroy all my pineapple farm. I want to tell the governor, I don't know what to do because of cow. We know what to carry farm again. Look at what cow just did in my farm. He just enter my farm last night, destroy all my pineapple farm, chop my pineapple farm, all my yam. I'm tired to carry farm. I beg government should talk proof for this issue. Look at my cassava, look at my yam. Everything. I beg you, may help me talk to government to there's a fast solution to it. I beg look at everywhere in the farm. I don't just see everywhere. May look at everywhere. Just see. Look at this big pineapple. Look at the big pineapple. He chop everything. Just see. I don't know what to do. Just see all the pineapple. May look at the plantain. Plantain. They chop all the whole plantain, the whole farm. All the whole plantain. All the whole plantain. I'm tired. They finish me. They don't finish me for this farm. Cow. They finish me. That's the reason I want to video the farm. So that I will show the government. Government may not tell me what to do, may not advise me. Am I going to leave the farm or I will continue? Look at them, just look at the farm. Look at everything. See them. Look at the farm. They don't chop the whole pineapple. And be spending money into this farm since last 2 years. Spending money, I don't spend almost 8 million. They don't chop the whole pineapple. And I will help you. I want to show the government so that may not advise me what to do. Am I going to leave the farm or I will continue again? That is the reason I did video the farm. Thank you very much. I greet everybody. I'm just talking from Uroli Kingdom. Uroli. Now for the talk. So Uroli East and West. Now for the talk. I bless everybody. I want to greet.
I said, if Ahmed Bola Tinubu fails, hold me responsible.
You say?
I say, if Tinubu fails, hold me responsible.
Thank you.
The job people are already angry that this is the worst government.
We have just started.
We must learn a lesson. This man!
You're going to trust man. Hand down. Your eyes will see what your mouth cannot talk.
I mean, Okwe Odoyo is in Kano. We don't know how much money he wants to give to the victims' family to compensate them. But farmers like that guy who spent 8 million naira in the last 2 years, hoping that he was making the best economic decision of his life, which he was supposed to be. He had a cultivated and orchard, pineapple orchard. He cultivated yam farm, cassava, banana, variety of stuff that ordinarily for that community, if his farm produce begin to yield, as we saw, it would have not only helped break the food inflation in that community. Many people like himself have been helping for decades to help quench food inflation in Nigeria. before APC, Egbekegbe came to power. And when APC, Egbekegbe came, so did the Fulani terrorists as well, whose only mission is to lead their cows at first into people's ripe farms, destroy them, destroy the source of food of the people. And 8 years after that, Nigeria is battling with abject multi-dimensional poverty. Never seen before hardship. That they have land, but they can't feed themselves. Well, a governor is right here in the north. It's so crazy, man. It's like this almost everywhere. And this is the best you can get. Because anything after this, they will kill you on that farm. Like nothing will happen.
Where you might be the same, I can't try cow at many now. This guy like Kogi.
Since we have been calling out supposed northerners to speak up and speak up genuinely against the Fulani terrorism, which somehow has now sort of triggered the indigenous people of Nigeria to become suspicious and hostile, right? Which in itself is what led to these Uromi killings. The people have had enough, traumatized enough. They didn't even have the time to check if truly the guns they are holding or they caught them with were Dane guns. Nobody cared. They've been through a lot. They have been so traumatized, terrorized, like I said, that they only walk about like bottled, they walk about with bottled frustration. And whenever they have the chance of unleashing it, they are like beasts, animals, and nobody can really control. And that is the reason why we keep telling you that Nigeria is sitting on a keg of gunpowder. A lot of people believe that Nigeria will not implode when it reached its own crescendo, right? It will implode. Because majority of Nigerians that you are looking at that way, apart from the fact that they are suffering mental health problems, the level of frustration that they have bottled in, the day of rage of anger, when they will express it, come about like irreparable, and nobody will care about who is who. And the way the tension is also rising as well, when some young people will put video out there to threaten people. And the South were like, okay, try it. Touch somebody and see what will happen. So now we have some northerners adding their own voice, trying their best to be or to sound neutral on this matter. But the fact that they are able to call out the hypocrisy of their own fellow northerners who have been reacting to this Uromi 16. So others are saying, what happened to the indigenous people who have faced so much terrorism that nobody seems to care? So there is a sort of like a breath of fresh air, right? People from that part of Nigeria. Listen to this first.
The killing of travelers in Uromi in Edo State has been the top of the news. But then today I am going to present it to you in a very different way that you have not seen it. And probably you are going to see the way you have contributed negatively to this killing, or probably the way somebody that you know have contributed negatively. Then I will also talk about the solution, the lasting solution. Me, I always go for lasting solution. The first thing I want to talk about is, please don't bring emotions here. You may not like what I will say here, or you may like what I see. But please, I want you to be logical. I want you to listen to it logically. Because I'm going to tell you the real truth here. The right thing. The exact thing that happened. What has occurred that they didn't tell you. Right? The first thing is transfer of aggression is the real thing that happened right there in Uromi. If you observe, it has occurred that the same people of that Uromi has protested before because of herdsmen killing, the Fulanis killing them, raping their women and all that. That is what is present in the news. Okay? Now, to anybody, you know, sometimes it is easy for you to take decision based on the fact that you are in the other side. But if you switch the coin, right? Let's see how it is going, your reaction is going to be like. For anybody that have find itself in such situation, for any place, right, any community, it is very easy for them to transfer the aggression when they see people that are similar. How existing anger, they immediately transfer it into these people and they kill them in a very, very, very dangerous way, in a humiliating way. Okay? Now, what is the background story that I want you to understand a little bit? That is why I say don't bring in emotion. First of all, if you have been following, you will see that there have been videos of Fulanis going to people's farm, cutting their cassava and give it to their cows to feed. Their cow is their investment. The Fulanis, their cow is their investment. Then the people's cassava is their own investment. So it means they are destroying other people's investment in order to build their own investment. But what happened? If you bring up such videos to the internet, what happened is that the northerners, right, will try to justify it, saying that they're saying all sorts of things just to justify it, while the West and other places, right, they will try to what? Say how evil it is and other, which means two people, two different regions, right, cannot agree on the reality. All of us are playing around it. And I'm taking you to somewhere why the government will never take us serious. Right? Then the next thing is, look at the reactions of this incident from the south and the north and other parts. You see that the northerners are condemning it so much. It's so dangerous. But the southerners, when they condemn it, they will bring in previous incidents that occurred, but they will now say, okay, look at them, they have this Fulani, they have done this, they have done this, they have done this before, which means they are not really condemning it as the people in the north are condemning it. Right? Now, I'm taking you somewhere. Now, the next thing is, what is the solution? What is the solution? The solution is very simple and very difficult to effect it. Almost all of us know, but it is very difficult to effect. The first thing is, we need to agree on evil, irrespective of the region we are. If you are from the north, if there is an evil, it is an evil. You don't care who is involved. What you worry about is, this thing is evil and it should be fighted. We should collectively fight it. If a Fulani man come out with video on the internet tomorrow, that, okay, this video is cutting people's cassava and all that, we should collectively fight it and ensure that that Fulani man is brought, the guy is punished under the law. If a southerner, like it happened now, let's all agree, it doesn't have to be only north or south or east. Let's all agree and fight it the same way we fight the Fulani man. If something happened to Muslims that is bad, either government or whatever, let's all Muslims and Christians come together and fight it as evil. This is an evil thing and we disagree with this. If something happened to the Christian, let's all of us come together and fight it as evil, that this is evil and we cannot tolerate it. If there is an injustice to some people, a group of people, let's say for instance now, what is happening with Shia Shia people, right? What is happening with them now? It happens that you are not among them, but it is clear that this is an injustice. For instance, I'm just saying an instance. I'm not sure it is the lawyers that can decide this, right? Let's all fight it. It doesn't matter. You are not a Shia, you are a Sunni, you are a Tariqa, you are a Christian, you are what. Let's all condemn it. The reason for this is this. The reason for this is that if we are always taking side because that side is not favoring us, then anytime that there is a switch, right? Let's say, for instance, if now they are doing it with, let's say, Shia, and the Shia, is an oppression. It is clear, for instance, that what they are doing, the Shia people are doing is right, is that the government is oppressing them. And you are siding with government because you are not a Shia member. Tomorrow, when the government come for you, Shia will also side with the government. Next tomorrow or any other day, when the Shia come for Christians, we, the other Muslims, will also side with the government. And that is how it will continue. We will not be able to get effective solution to the problems we have in Nigeria. If something happened to Muslims, let CAN, the Christian Association of Nigeria, come out and defend and say it, then they should condemn it. They should work tirelessly as well to see that if it is government that is oppressing Muslims or let's all come out together and fight it. If it is Christian that is being oppressed,
you spoke well. Do you understand? Because that's like putting it exactly the way it is. You don't take sides when evil happens. And that is why on Mayegun's diary political, right? I speak on every injustice I come across. Not because I am directly affected, but because every injustice left unexposed or untackled is always going to come back to claim more victims. This time around or next time, it will be you. But if there is collective campaign against injustice, no matter whose else is got or who is the victim, it's also a way of possibly protecting yourself. And at the same time, you know, waking people up enough that you are likely going to have more voices behind you than to keep quiet until it becomes your turn. You get that now? So speaking up by not taking sides when you know this is wrong, right, is one very powerful move, right? That most of the time is the reason why we can't even have a conversation, right? Because everybody will be like, you didn't see anything when that happened. When it happened to so and so, you didn't see anything. You are not this so embittered. You look at you now that some of them have now come out to, in fact, double down by saying the atrocities of the past remained justified. So then, but in their midst as well, when you start seeing, you know, more and more people now speaking up in a very much like neutral, better ways, like a breath of fresh air, like I said, or called it earlier, breath of fresh air, you know, maybe we're more and more like this, kind of like a speak up, even if they are not that popular at first, but they have their own audience. And there will be more audience who have never been exposed to alternative facts before. Now they will have a chance of. And what that means is that in no long or distant future, they will probably begin to find it difficult to recruit the religious, tribal, and ethnic extremists, jingoists, to push their divisive agenda as they have been doing for decades. Here is another one. I want you to listen.
With this video, I know I'm going to offend a lot of people. most especially the northerners, to me, that I think might not be, if you are not reasonable, this may annoy you and you may feel bitter. But I think it's high time we tell ourselves the truth. And what is that I want to say? You see, the fact is, what has happened in Uromi should be an eye-opener to the northerners. And what do I mean by that? Gone are the eras when people produce children that they cannot cater for. And at the end of the day, the children grow up and go to other states and be doing menial jobs like shoeshana, cutting of grass, babambola, and the rest of it. That is what is causing sea finish. If I must use that word, just like I used for the military at a point in time, I say now sea finish, they cause all these things. Well, those things may be embedded in religious, whatever, it may have a religious affiliation, but I actually don't believe in that, because I have a lot of good Muslims that don't see life that way. They believe in responsibility. I'm not trying to discourage Al-Majri in any way, but the Al-Majri should be well structured in such a way that it shouldn't be an avenue where somebody will produce children that he can't cater for, and the only thing he has left is just to push them into Al-Majri or not be responsible to them. And we should try to get rid of marrying a lot of women and having so many children that at the end of the day we are not responsible. That is what is giving birth to all this. You don't command respect from anybody by so doing. The world is evolving. If you look at it, let's take it memory lane. All that has been happening, the unaliving and the ill treatments, whatever, is just meted on the poor. The poor common people you have on the streets. That is just it. We have a lot of northerners in the south and the east that are doing well. You dare not take that kind of rubbish to them, because you can't stand it. They command so much respect, they command so much resources that if you try to rubbish them, I'm telling you, all hell will lose broke. And you can't stand it. They don't try them. Do you see them being mobbed? They don't mob them. Because these are people that were brought up by responsible parents, responsible families, and at the end of the day, they pursue their career and they relocated to wherever they're going and they establish themselves as an authority. So it's high time we have a debate around that. The era of having children that you can't be responsible for has gone. The world is evolving. And they say the only constant thing in life is change, and only those that have the ability to adapt that survives. Even the so-called violence, a lot of people are threatening to make violence or whatever. It has evolved. You can only make violence on the poor like you. The rich have so insulated themselves with government resources, with so much security that you can't near them. So at the end of the day, I'm still going to be repeating, it's going to be a battle for the poor against the poor. If you feel retaliation is the answer. That is not just it. And again, I think it's high time as northerners, we should call a lot of our Islamic scholars, our cleric scholars, both Islam and even Christians, that are deceiving you people, that are making you think that this religion is more difficult and this religion is more about sacrificing yourself and not living to enjoy the dividends of life. That era has gone. That era has gone. Let's disabuse our mind from that. The fact is, this life is simple if you understand the basic principles and concept. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to be worldly or you are going to be wayward. You can still maintain your moral and religious stand, and at the same time you are very respected and very objective in everything you do. Look at Saudi Arabia. Are they not Islams? Who dare you assault a person from Saudi Arabia or look down on him? Because there seems to be a kind of a balance. You don't allow a kind of myopic and fanatic scholars to come and ruin your life for you, all in the name of religion. We need to wake up and leave all those stuffs. It's not helping anybody. What I'm just trying to say is, until the North learn to command respect from their counterparts, until the North learn to command respect by living a comfortable and a very respectable life, nobody will respect you. They will think life is cheap. And that is why a lot of all these things will happen. They know there's nothing you can do. All you can do is rant. Or if you even want to retaliate, you can't retaliate on the people that have committed this evil. You can only retaliate on poor people like you. I keep saying this. And I'm still going to repeat this, that the problem of the North is the North. Whether you're happy with it or you're not. Let's stop all these things. Let's stop all these things. Development, civilization, and a lot of it will not stop you from practicing your religion. But don't allow people, and I need to say this to the youths, don't allow people that have wasted their life in delusion trying to come and tell you religion the way they feel is supposed to be, that has not even paid them, has not even favored them. Live your life. At the end of the day, if you're alive so long to see what it takes to be alive and what religion is all about, you get to see that religion is all about being good. Just be good to yourself. Be good to yourself, be good to your neighbors, and nothing more. Forget about the technicalities. Don't bother about people that are not worshiping the same religion with you. This one is not God, this one is... That is not your problem. The problem is just be good and be productive. And you command respect. Bello made a video recently in regards how some of the religious leaders are also beneficiaries from the government. And at the end of the day, the only thing they come to do is, when election time comes, the cleric scholars will call you and tell you that this is what we should do, this is what we do, without knowing on the ground that they have been collecting money and they have been beneficiaries. And you now, you think you're doing something in the name of religion. In the name of religion, that you're doing it for the sake of religion and holiness, and at the end of the day, it's messing up your life. Don't allow people that have lived their life and have enjoyed and that are even benefiting on your ignorance to ruin your life. Live your life free. Religion is not difficult. Just be good, be happy, love yourself, love your neighbor. That is the summary of religion. Forget about technicalities. Everybody may not understand or do the same thing you're doing, but that is fine as long as his own doesn't affect you. And that is just it. We need to have this discussion. There is need for the North to wake up. Be in tune with changing times. That is what I'm trying to say. Let's not shy away from the truth. Look at other parts of the country. They concentrate on things that develop them, progress them. You have a lot of millionaires and billionaires in their own part. But when it comes to the North, all we talk about is all about religious difference and tribal difference. Where is it taking us? How has it benefited anybody? Nobody. Rather, it's associated in making you so primitive that when you go to a lot of places as a result of your appearance due to poverty, people think you are a terrorist. People think you are a rebel. People think you are a problem, even when in heart you are not. So till you get to make yourself better, nobody will respect you. Nobody will appreciate you. And most importantly, say no to fanatical religious ideologies. Live your life. Live free. Try your best. Believe in God. Love humanity. Love yourself. And that is the summary. Nothing more. God help us.
What shall I say unto the Lord?
Yes, Lord.
All I have to say,
Thank you, Lord.
What
shall I say? Thank you,
Have to say thank you, Lord. Do I need to add anything? You know, that's the kind of message that others will say, it is best delivered in Hausa. So detailed, so clear, so direct, and was hitting the nail on the head. Don't let people who have, who have lived their lives coerce you coerce you into a deceit called religion, then use you to propagate their personal agenda, what they won't tell you is that they've been paid to do that. That was from the northern Nigeria. I can see some of you so impressed that you started adopting it. I'm going to adopt this one as my next thing, brother. I saw that comment. Do you know why it's important that you are all watching this right now? And it doesn't really matter how you feel, you heard, you saw. Abi, it doesn't matter how you probably feel, whether you are not moved or whether you are so impressed. That generalization is a very bad thing. I mean, it's not that there are no, what do you call them? There are no good people from that northern part of Nigeria who are not comfortable with the way they have politically structured northern Nigeria, how the political class have been using the poor people, right? Weaponizing poverty to continue to drive their evil political agenda, impoverishes their own people. There are those within that northern Nigeria who somehow, it will shock you, they are in support of the breakup of Nigeria. Because to them, right, they believe that if Nigeria was going to be a good country, right, by their own Islam, it should have been done by their leaders who, you know, somehow presented themselves as Muslims. So an average Muslim in northern Nigeria is made to believe that their leader, being Muslim, right, is actually as ordained by Allah and is a good thing. The infidels are supposed to learn governance, leadership from them. So you see these ones that have become, you know, liberalized, open-minded and what have you, they believe that Nigeria can never work again. Because if Islam taught them about the advantage of having faithfuls as your leaders of a thing, right? And Nigeria is like this. They've seen the failed leadership on their part. They've seen the established poverty in their region, including the birth and the flourishing terrorism industry in Nigeria. So there are those of them who believe that Nigeria should break up. But they do not have the political foothold or any form of a strong foothold in the northern part of Nigeria yet. But there are. So when you look at them and you're like, these northern people, just remember, there are those, right, that don't subscribe to this barbarism that their ruling class have been subjecting their people to, weaponizing poverty like it's normal. That's why it started its whole sort of representation from the Alimajiri pandemic to the Southerners, you know, say they've had enough. And there's a lot to get you so mad, especially if you are from Edo State and you are reading or watching all of these debates going on, right? So there's always going to be something within you that will say, do you even understand what we are going through? Like Mama P, you know that.
I always see, I just need to get this off my chest. And I hope politicians are listening. This whole foolish pampering of the North, it needs to stop. I personally don't know what the Edo State governor is doing in Kano and Kaduna. Whether I go buy Usa Granite or get another thing where go do that. No one believes so you go there. Because that will not be like him. That will not be like a condolence. It be like say you go beg them. I don't have an issue with you doing father figure. But I beg, as you they beg them. Hope you they tell them what these people they do for you. Hope you they remind them what their brothers and sons. The kind of crime when they commit for you. You they hope you tell them. Up from the president to the least politician. I don't understand the foolish pampering of the North. Here you go talk rich, they go say they support jungle justice, but God forbid. I'm only saying things the way they are. I've often sworn say Hausa people know their social media. So you people want to tell me that you have this much mobility on social media, but choose to keep quiet when we complain about insurgents, about Fulani herdsmen. You keep quiet like say you don't know what to do. Now go and kill all of you now. You keep quiet. And the hear this lady voice, they do papa. You can talk now. You cannot watch the video, nonsense 16. But when you see people being beheaded in the farms, you keep quiet. You are mad. All of you nonsense youths that have the chance to speak up but refuse to speak up till it's time to be biased, or go we kill all of you. It's not like this Fulani herdsmen is not affecting them in their side though. But they chose to just keep quiet for reasons best known to them. But now you all want to be activists. See, I blame the federal government. The government want to give 48 hours where I'm sound now. I'm not saying the government should not do their job, but you see this unnecessary threats. You people, it's the things of the old. Our fathers never fear now. It showed me say this generation will match your madness for madness. You want to do a pressure attack. You enter Benin or you're exhausted. You start killing people when they're looking at the road. They say, hey, no, now go and kill now. No people no one countries in this. Now get out. If one person go talk like you people will take me out of context. I'm only saying that we chose peace and love, but we are not scared of war. Okay, now they knock my motor, me get out of my front. Come be like say one tribe get power past the full nation. They be killing people now in Enugu State. I don't know why the governor of Enugu State have not made fear not let them talk. Women have been protesting for weeks. Fulani herdsmen. Gone to Bayelsa. Even Delta State here. Managarats. I beg you, my sympathies with the families of all this. Hey, fear. It needs to stop. Everybody, mount your guards. I know, mushi.
You never see this kind of thing before. Turubu, I must abuse you. Turubu, number 1, Oguoki Opa. Turubu number 2, Oguoki Oma. Turubu number 3, Oguoki your children. Turubu number 4, Ogugo bury all your family. Turubu is a go to you. Turubu is a go to you. And Wausa.
The great youth of Nigeria.
Great.
Yo. You get a yo. That's somebody who is a Ledolite. All this threat, all this talk of, I forget to now, parents fear now. I say we said now our parents fear now, we don't fear now. But when you hear pa, but you don't see. Have you actually seen the Fulani terrorists in action before, or Boko Haram? Forget you will need your own like machine guns. So this one will be for real. Here you get. But when they are making their threats, they are not threatening to come down to the south. They are threatening to deal with the southerners living in the north. Right? And that is unacceptable. Okay? So when you talk about nobody has the monopoly of violence, that is what it means. And you know something, right? There's a theory. I don't know who get the theory, but it doesn't matter. It's actually true. You know, if you add yellow plus blue, it will give you green. Abi? If you add blue plus red, I think it will give you black, Abi. If you add violence plus violence, Aba is new. You dey feel me? Violence plus violence. Na peace you. The Fulani terrorists and the other terrorists from northern part of Nigeria and outside Nigeria, from the Sahel to Areg, Futa Jalon, Futa Keg, Futa Soro, and with a sadness from the Sahel, right? If you have the same and equal violence to give back, the next thing is they will say, they know they play with you. So now when you want to use all these weapons, now you are below the brook. You call here, call the shoot gun from far. What were you? I mean, what were you expecting? Say, oh God, no. It's just our culture to shoot in the sky. You know, we are not coming to fight you when they see what you have on ground. Peace, last year. You get that now? Peace, I want to ceasefire. Ceasefire, okay. Somebody is coming with their AK-47. They can't hear the kind of ogbonegbe that you are shooting, like, They don't even play with you. They don't even play with you at all. You too the vex. Say, wait till this one they talk. Where are you from? From Tuareg, you they mad? How do you get out of here? They say, we are just passing. We are not even coming to you. We're just passing. Sorry, peace. I beg peace you. Say, yeah, everybody, come out your white clothes and hold it to your head like that until you cross this. If you they mad, don't stop here. That's what they said. They said peace plus peace is war. If you want peace, prepare for war. Do you understand what I mean? So to them in Edo, you know they talk anyhow. You know, if you do anyhow, you see anyhow. Touch any southerner in the north and see how the entire place will go up in smoke here in the south. With social media, they win.
14 Hausa people were burnt alive in my city, Uromi. Now, I'm seeing videos flying everywhere. Innocent hunters. They are innocent hunters going to hunt. First of all, to be clear, I am not in support of any form of jungle justice. But I want you people to understand where this thing is coming from. How all these things started. For the longest period of time, over 15 years, my people, Uromi people, or Full Esan land, has been suffering in the hands of Fulani herdsmen. This is no story, cho. This is real life. Every single day, these people, Fulani people, they go to our farms, rape our women, kill our people, kidnap them, and ask for outrageous sum of money. If you don't have the money, they will kill you. My best friend's mom was kidnapped in 2015. A teacher who was on her way from Uromi to Benin for teachers' conference meeting. She was kidnapped in Arewa. By who? By Hausa people. By these Fulani people. These people, they don't wear mask. They don't wear mask. She was kidnapped. 2 people blocked the way, stopped her car, they shot her car. She came out of the car. Guess what? First thing, slap, tower. They used slap, finish woman of over 50 years. They kidnapped her. The other 2 people came from the back. 4. They carried her entire bush from Arewa straight to Benin. She was kidnapped on Thursday. On Friday, guess what? These people went to mosque and left 2 younger Hausa people with her. Told her, we they go Moscow, madam, no die. If you die, we go cut your breast. We go sell them. And the next thing, they were telling her that if they don't pay the money they requested for by Monday, because she was kidnapped on Thursday, by Monday, if they don't receive that money, the millions they requested for, they go kill her and they will cut her breast, they go sell her. This was what they were telling this woman. Now, this woman was traumatized. She's still traumatized. They paid. The family paid the money. They released her. Guess what? For 1 year, this woman couldn't go to school. She was traumatized. Fear. Guess what? Because of the trauma, everything, she relocated to the US. Her family relocated her to the US. This woman, my best friend's mom, has vowed never to ever visit Nigeria again. This is a woman that has served this nation for years as a teacher. A friend of mine that we grew up together. He went home
to celebrate Christmas in December. He escaped kidnapping. By who? By these same Fulani people. They know they use mask. They don't kidnap everybody. Now, all my people, we've shouted, we've protested, we've gone to traditional rulers, even the traditional rulers that we've gone to protest and talk about these things to. Guess what? They've kidnapped all of them, finished. The Onoji of Uzea was kidnapped 3 times. He has paid ransom 3 times. Is it the king of Udo? Udo kingdom has been kidnapped. The Onoji, the king there, he has also been kidnapped. This is not a joke. Is it the one happening in Auchi? This is not just in Uromi. It's all over Edo State. Fulani herdsmen, no, they let us rest. So all of you Hausa people, I understand your concern. Oh, your people were killed, blah, blah, blah. I understand, fine. You can protest whatever. But please, maybe you are not aware. I want you to know, your people are killing us. They don't finish us finish. They are raping our women. This is happening every single day. For over 15 years, Uromi used to be a land of enjoyment. They'll say, Ebale Uromi. A land of enjoyment. But Hausa people don't turn out to another thing. In cases like this, what do you expect? The people have called on the government multiple times. We have protested. We have done a lot. But our voices are not being heard. They hear it, but they don't do anything about it. What do you expect? Now the people, they took the laws into their hands out of fear. Out of fear and out of self-defense. It's self-defense. And now the government officials, they are saying they are looking for those people. Is that the thing you should do now? The thing you should do is security, is to secure our land. This is real life. I'm not blabbing. This is true. This is fact. The Hausa, no, they let us rest again for Esan land. Is it in Benue? Fulani herdsmen don't finish us. They are raping. They go rape your sister for your front. If you talk, they go buy you. This is not yama talk. No. Fulani people want finish us. They are killing us. They are kidnapping us. Raping our women. So Arewa people, fine, fight for your people, whatever. Tell your people to stop. To stop killing our people. No Nigerian is a less Nigerian. We are all Nigerians. But please, we should be able to live freely wherever we go or wherever we are. But our own place again, we no fit even stay there again. It's crazy. This video is becoming too long, man. The government, this is not the time to look for those people that burnt those kidnappers alive. No, this is this time. This is the time to bring security to our land. We have been shouting, we have been crying. Mona, beg, please. My people are really going through a lot. This is real life. They are kidnapping us.
Bro, we heard you. They are kidnapping them. They have protested. They have complained. It seems that nobody is listening to them. They have gone to the Onages. They've went to the, to the kings. Even the kings don't collect. One of them has been kidnapped 3 times, and 3 times he had paid ransom to the same terrorist. And so the local vigilantes who have decided to take the defense or their own protection into their own hands a while back were spotted in a group meeting like this.
And then I know the sound of Ebiraland that is not to compare with this one. And they don't even some of us who ask now for our youth. After I'm walking, I fight the person. Now I go to the home. I know due to no wine, I got my Zoom wine because I have for 90 Zoom wine when I does it with him. So anyone very fear, strong fear, because we have that for you template, you were prepared. When they can buy her ways own way. So that is the main issue. Seems like I ain't a Google, but not auditor. Ainaga, and I had a guardian far distance. Because the last time I noticed that now, half like Anabia, I got Dodge, I better hand it. Just that it's God that saved us. So I am amazing. I went and cry for help for government. If there is any needs, even in the soldiers, those people that are more bigger and more strong than us, that can come with better something. How we keep on with the thing. Because I want never now. I say I got the thing. Also, I can't Natasha.
Okay. I won't go here. Any of your members are Mabugo sense, so no be of that
in the above one when they came in my in the village. Security.
You are writing my natural soldier.
Oh, wait.
No, I'm the
soldier. Stop on here. I'm across that bridge.
Like the issue of the soldier. Only one time I got so that time I got so we saw them. They came out with their AK-47 and other things. So they were in order like showcasing themselves that they are not hiding. So when we try to go further, the soldiers say, no, they go back. Have you seen now? So it seems like our going to the bush is not, because I expected that if you enter there, we will do something that will bring better results. Thank you.
Continue to your soldier.
Yes,
better soldiers.
Come and help us, we need them.
And the last thing in your government, because government in Yera, can the Bani be Chan or Poku? Obeti, Ngelagi, Ogomugo, Mbede, Okokopia, another place. Kahala has chance to their base. No place they say like no place like home. Now you know it's more hot to come with that place, but no place like home. Eba Kaham may enjoy life. Their children are no longer going to school because they want to see how much they want to attach now different places. And they can go again. Many people live here. Allow camp in your
IDP camp in your community.
And where any organized ID camp. My name is ID camp. Like you do move and community. I made you simply by ID place.
I better go to one and do harassing God. And then I know the sound of Abraham that is not.
People have to like help themselves. In another place, you see where the people are calling on the government to give them security men, you know, or even soldiers. In another part of the town, a police officer was being demoted for absenteeism and alcoholism. I think this was in Delta, is it? Honor Bini?
Don't come to work. You still go on visa. If you're around, you're like information officer, you're black in but let me go. I know you got. And I don't know and to buy so what shape? You must record it. You are got it again. How is what to get it. So you leave this job. We don't want you here. Welcome to the due rank. You are the lead sergeant now. Start again from the beginning. Thank you. Turn and salute.
Well, that place looked like one of the police stations in Oshogbo. I saw that earlier and I was like, oh, no. In another news, right? There is this commissioner in Zamfara reported to have been beaten up at their Eid al-Fitr yesterday. I don't know what happened. I don't know why. Nobody really said, but obviously you can, you know, add 1 and 2 together and you still get an idea of what was wrong. My own deduction from this is that they don't like him. That's all. Take a look at this. It's like they want they come 2 by 2, you know. So they are like the MC Olueran of Zamfara. Because normally, if it was in Lagos, now bottles, they throw bottle like in coke like that, bah, 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 until you start seeing people with blood on their head. But these ones, na cow that they deal with most of the time. So you see that sonda, we call it sonda, that stick, sonda. I've been a sanda. I don't know if it's a Hausa word. Sanda. They want nakam too. If 2 enter in body, even malu will be saying a stubborn animal. About last, see, my late great grandmother, when I was very little, she used to warn me that under no circumstance should I let the Fulani and that their stick Sanda. There was a guy in my town then called Sabarumo. So usually he had this small herd of cows and all that, big cows. So my great grandmom, right, believed that there's some voodoo on that stick. That if they use and beat you, or they use and knock you, you may automatically just turn to dance like a brain damage. So she was like, under no circumstance, don't go. I don't think Gimalu, by not a young in a jabo, say, Majon fi Igimalu, by not a young. Oh, John Figimalu, by Nayon, show man law. That is, under no circumstance should you let them hit you with that stick, because there's a voodoo on it. So every time when I see that, I'm like, there's a voodoo on that stick. That's how we got indoctrinated on so many things, by the way. So when I saw that video, when they were making an effort of trying to hit him, I was like, I want to go in London. They don't like him. It's obvious anyway. Right. And then on the other side, we all tend to talk about dealing with the criminal politicians, right? That they tend to get away with a lot. And we should learn how to not embrace them and start calling for selfies. If they are failures, you should show it to them that they are failures. Rotif Miyamechi, he will be my Judas Iscariot, once said. The Nigerians won't stone them. They won't. They talk tough, they talk loud. But when they meet their criminal oppressors, they want to take pictures, not for those guys. They've had enough, you know? Anyway, I am not, by the way, I am not encouraging violence. So I'm not asking you to knock anybody out back for you. So that you don't come back and say you learned it from Mayegu. But just make sure that you do what is necessary when it is necessary, and you stand there to take responsibility as well. You know, they blame Satan. You know, say you won't break any politician head. Break him, go to roti. You know what I mean? It's Baba Jesha, like Baba Jesha, that sent his son to go and get some home training in the hand of Itu Babaita. And Itu Babaita is like the godfather of all the area boys, the touts. He's also a Igbo dealer, a Igbo smoker. So after a week, right, they returned Baba Jesha's son to him, only for Baba Jesha a few hours later to come back and said, "You have destroyed the life of my son." And what happened? According to him, he said his son no longer lies. He stabbed somebody. I asked him, "Did you stab him?" He said, "Yes." He punched somebody and, you know, sort of broke their face. I asked him, "Did you break that woman's face?" And he said, "Yes. You destroyed the life of my husband." I just help you train your son. You should be grateful to me that I have raised a son that won't lie, because I'm a boki paro, kind of. You know, so for them in the north, right, it is what you see that you get. They do have the ass stickers too, don't get me wrong. But we all talk tough on how we were supposed to actually show the criminal politicians, right, in a way that no matter what, we let them know that there are consequences for their actions, like those guys. But right, the last part of our chat this evening is this current interview that Peter Obi just granted Charles on Arise. That's how we're going to close it this evening, okay? A category is specifically rather said, Zifnubu has done well. Somebody told you that he was going to continue from wherever Okwari stopped. And that's exactly what he has done. So why is everybody acting surprised? So I have some clip from that conversation, okay? So I want to share some of them with you tonight before we go. And before I even do that, let me say a quick thank you to my donors, okay? Mind you, I have now raised 5% of my projected of my target, okay? So on, thank you, by the way, African Wahala, okay, for keeping it, you know, going on that part. So, Sister Yinka, thank you. Same thing goes to Ihoma, Unaji, Uba, I don't know if I pronounce that right, okay, Onyekachi, Odileke, Odileke. Thank you to every one of you, by the way. So the link to help me contribute to this is right here in the comment section, okay? I've got the PayPal link as well. I've got the Buy Me a Coffee. Lababs, thank you very much for always, right? I got your message as well. So thank you. So far, so good. I'm kind of like moving towards 600 pounds out of 10,000 pounds. And I wouldn't even mind like 60% of that, which is 6,000 pounds, right? Anyway, I will keep it running. And thank you. So let's go hear this from Obi.
Charles, when you talk about improvement, there are not things you say. There are things people feel. There are things people see. There are things that, it's just like when you talk about, I've listened to people say jobs are being created. Where are the jobs? You know, if you talk about job creation anywhere in the world, you see the figures. If you talk about improvement in education, you see it. Improvement in health, improvement in this. If you say the government is now doing the right thing, the democratic, the this, you will see it. You just mentioned River State. So where is it? So we can see it. It's not a question of going to say, oh, investors are coming back. Where are the investors? Where are they investing? Companies are closing down. They're leaving. Local companies, manufacturing is going south. So where is it?
Clearly, you're not seeing it.
Nigerians are not seeing it.
Are you possibly, as they say, missing the beat of the moment? his aides are suggesting that perhaps you're focusing too much on playing the opposition card and you're not seeing the increments that are gradually, making themselves felt in this country.
Charles, the Nigerians are not saying it. I am one politician that moves around in Nigeria, and I know the feeling of the people.
Yeah, but what about prices in the market? I mean, there have been some, maybe not enormous reductions, but there have been some significant reductions, even in fuel, for example, petrol prices. I mean,
where did we start?
They've fluctuated a little, but they've come down.
Charles, where did we start? We started at about 200 to over 1,000, and now it's slightly below 1,000. You have to look at where we started. You didn't just say, oh, it's coming down. No, where did we start? What has changed? Consider the income of the average Nigerian. Those who are fortunate to have a job. What it now tells them if they're buying fuel.
So basically, your prognosis, your assessment, just to be clear, is that things have got worse, not better, in spite of the reforms that the president has put in. I mean, you're not agreeing that obviously reforms take a while to begin to be felt in the country. The removal of fuel subsidy, the regularization of price of cost of naira and all the rest of it. I mean, you don't think that those things are reforms that needed to be done. Wouldn't you have done that if you were president?
Charles, I believe that reforms take time for people to start seeing the gains of it.
Well, that's what their argument is.
But people have to see a clear roadmap that what they are sacrificing for, let's take fuel subsidy, which they say there's huge savings. Where is the savings being channeled to?
Well, they said, for example, and I'm not a spokesman for the government, but I have to play the devil's advocate because they're not here. I mean, they said that, for instance, more money is being given to the states. And if you look at the numbers, I mean, the amount of money that the states are getting, I mean, it's higher than it used to be. Although some are making the argument, and I suspect you're making the same argument, that because of the devaluation of the naira, what they're getting is not worth anything.
Charles, if you are making a savings, you said, I want to save this money to be able to invest where? You have to invest in critical areas of development. And those critical areas of development are education, health, and pulling people out of poverty. Are we investing in it? Just no.
Well, they would argue that they're investing in education. They're providing funds and loans for students, which has never happened in this country before, to allow them to be able to go to school.
This country has universal basic education. And we have over 20 million children out of school. That is the critical area. It is the basic education that is the critical area. We're not doing anything in it. Just today, I visited an IDP camp. There's over 40,000 people in IDP camps around Abuja. I'm not talking outside Abuja. The one I visited is in Abuja. With over 4,000, they don't have a primary health care.
4,000 or 40,000?
Over 4,000. Right. 40,000 around Abuja. But 4,000 in this particular facility. Right, okay. They don't have a primary health care. They don't have a primary school. They used to have a primary school, which was there by UNICEF. It's closed down for the past 3 years. The kids are there. There's no primary school. There's no health care. So, if you don't have that in Abuja, where do you have it? Where? And this is the one you see.
Go to your village or go somewhere else because nobody gives a damn. you know, Itobi. And some of the obedient are already saying, wow, it seems like this guy is coming out of his shell and he's no longer somehow like, you know, how do you say that again? Tongue-tied. Tie-tongued. I think it's, okay. Sure, I know what I'm saying, like the tongue is tied. Is that called tied tongue? Tongue-tied. Maybe it's the same anyway. So he practically just call out a Tifnumbu. And there is more. Yeah, there is. Let's hear that too. Talking about the judiciary, the role of the judiciary, the role of the legislatures, democracy. Do you even have a democracy?
Well, I've said it and I maintain, Charles, there's no democracy in Nigeria today. Nigeria today is not a democratic country. Let's stop telling ourselves lies. If you look at all the tenets, look at all the yardstick of measuring democracy, it doesn't exist here. Simple definition, democracy is government of the people, by the people, for the people. Today, the government we have is not of the people. It's not by the people because the people didn't vote. It wasn't their votes. I'm not just talking about presidency. Across the line, look at what happened in Edo. Can you call that democracy? It is not vote of the people. And it's not for the people. I've just told you that I went to an IDP camp where we have thousands of people, no primary health care. They were begging me to have one nurse, which I said I must make sure I bring. They don't even have primary school, which again I told them I will make sure it happens. So what are you doing? For a country that just spent 21 billion naira to renovate the house for the vice president, which is not, hasn't packed in, is not living there. And you cannot even have a primary school for kids who are going to be leaders of Nigeria tomorrow. For people who pass through the same process, tonight deny these kids this opportunity today. So it is not a democratic country. So it's not for the people. You can't have a democracy without a functional and effective legislature, which you know we don't have today. You can't have a democracy without, again, an independent judiciary that fights for the common person. I can go on and on. In a democracy, it is clear. There's guidelines. Even when you set for people vying for election, like in Nigerian case, you have to talk about people must be qualified. They must have primary school, secondary school, university, and must, again, an independent judiciary that fights for the common person.
Wait for it, oh. This is where he's going to drop the bombshell. Today, you have people who are certificate forgers in charge of the contraption. Election. Go on, Obi, please go on. Sorry to interrupt.
Again, an independent judiciary that fights for the common person. I can go on and on. In a democracy, it is clear. There's guidelines. Even when you set for people vying for election, like in Nigerian case, you have to talk about people must be qualified. They must have primary school, secondary school, university, and must attain certain age. Charles, that is not happening today. People are with unverified, forged certificates all over the place, criminal records and everything, and they're in charge. So you cannot say that. It is, yes, maybe we're striving to be a democratic country, but the way we are today is not. Look at what happened in Rivers that you mentioned. Can you call that democracy?
I'm going to come to Rivers State
Yes.
in a minute because it would obviously require some analysis and certainly your assessment of what is going on there. But they would argue, the president's aides, that Nigeria may be a faltering democracy, but nevertheless it is a democracy. And one of the hallmarks for assessing
how it is all working. Number one, you don't have democracy. Whether it is said by Obi or Mayegu or Confessor Sorinka, it doesn't really matter. The truth is that you do not have any democracy in that contraption. Oh, there is more. Oh, there is more.
Reflection. I wonder what your message is to Muslims at this auspicious time for them.
Well, like I said in my tweets, first is that they've been able, after the fasting and everything, been able to reflect about our country. It is now time to say, where do we go from here? And as I wish them happy Salah, I hope we'll use whatever they've been able to reflect in the past 30 days to hope that we'll build a better Nigeria.
And as you talk pointedly there about reflection, let's reflect on the 2 years into President Tinubu's term, what is known as the midterm. As we look into what he's been doing for the last 2 years, how would you assess his midterm?
Well, Charles, you know, I always don't want to be involved in assessing this present government, because I've always remained consistent that he is doing well. Because what he promised the people is exactly what he's doing. That he will start and continue from where the previous government stopped. And that is doing well, Charles. You can go and use every measure. I've said it in this studio before. Somebody who made dollar at 300 and something, 400, is now 1,005. Charles is done fantastic. Same in fuel, same in everything, same in unemployment, you know, everywhere, in terms of democracy, in terms of everything, is been on the sliding side. And that is doing well, because that's what he promised.
Well, I suspect they're likely to disagree with you. I mean, the president's team have suggested that his reforms are working and that his management prudence is bringing back international confidence. They say that growth may be slow, but it's on an upward curve, and that Nigeria's fiscal position has improved considerably, which is the precursor to investing in infrastructure and innovation such as technology. But you don't agree with that?
And there is this part as well, a quick one.
Because it would obviously require some analysis and certainly your assessment of what is going on there. But they would argue, the president's aides, that Nigeria may be a faltering democracy, but nevertheless it is a democracy. And one of the hallmarks for assessing that democracy is freedom of speech, and the fact that you can sit here and criticize the government and be quite, forceful in your criticism, forthright, that is a manifestation of at least a measure of democracy.
Charles, I can tell you that even me is being harassed every day. There's no freedom of speech. And you know that yourself, Charles. And I can tell you, and there's so many people who are being detained in one place or the other because they've made one statement or anything.
Well, I haven't been harassed, to be fair. But
yes, yes, maybe you've not been, but I have been.
Well, that's unfortunate.
So I can tell you that even that doesn't exist. But we're not, when you say, yes, he exists, Charles, when you go for an exam and you score 10%, it's a fail. I'm just giving you the real measure of democracy. We failed in all of them. So it doesn't exist.
So Obi said he himself is being harassed by the system. Why can't they just arrest him? You know, like they just, like instead of trying to intimidate him, you know, do all that stuff. Me, I'm thinking that they should probably just carry it out, like arrest him. So we'll find out what the his own supporters and admirers are actually what they are made of. Don't you think so? Like, they try on. You think I'm saying that because I believe that they dare not? No. There's nothing they can do. There is nothing that they can't do, but there are many things that they won't do. There are two different statements. Yeah? I really do wish. The last part of the gist.
Elections are won, elections are lost by the vote of the people. All these things you're talking and all these things people are talking is because we are not democratic. Charles, we are talking of working together for the sake of the country, not because of political posts. I've said it before.
But if you don't have political power, you won't be able to change the country.
Charles, I agree with that. That's why I've always said, I'm not desperate to be president. I'm desperate to see Nigeria work. Charles, it is all these alliances, all these groupings that brought us to where we are today. Because people were blinded. Instead of seeing what they would do to make the country work, make the country productive, they were focused on wrestling power. What are we going to use the power to do?
Yeah, but you ran for office in 2023. You wanted to wrest power from
yes,
the
because
ANC.
I wanted to do something.
Right.
Charles, I wanted to do something. I wanted to use it. By now, you would have been seeing the impact on education visibly. And I'm not talking about coming to say, people coming to say it in TVs. You will be seeing it visibly. I would have even been visiting the schools.
Well, that's why some of
the health. You would have been seeing the primary. We have over 70% of our primary care are not functional.
But that's why some of your supporters are saying that for you to make this happen, you have to be able.
Elections are won.
Protest election. Anyway, I will bring more from that interview because I understand that it was about 45 minutes to an hour conversation. So any other thing I can pick from it worthy of sharing, right? I'll bring that. As for the Werewike, yeah, he had this to say on this ongoing state of emergency in the rivers. Quick one.
Totally out of place. I will not be a part of that.
Minister,
yes.
If push comes to shove, right?
Yes.
Would you side with Governor Simfubara?
To do what?
If to settle this cause.
What is this?
Because if the Oyibo and the Ogoni people say they must have it, would you be on the side of Governor? Considering that you were the one who raised his hand up.
Don't use that word. I will never support Fubara in my political life again.
Why?
No, I won't do that.
When he was asked, right? Anyway, I think that is where we are going to now draw the curtains. But even before that, I've got these two clips I want to share with you. I want them to be part of this chart. The first one is indeed the homeless, or should I say the IDP camp that Obi said he visited in Abuja and what he told them there this afternoon.
We must have a basic education. But here we have people in IDP camp littered all over our capital in Abuja. Over 40,000 of them, without any primary school. And everybody knows that the most, number one, most important thing for development is education. And that is what you're not giving them. It doesn't matter whether you build anything, as long as they're not educated, it won't work. So we need to educate them. We need to make sure that they're healthy. Like I said earlier, all these kids they are seeing here are the future senators, House of Rep members, governors, and presidents. And we must educate them now. Because those of us who are there today, we are once like them. But because we are given education, we cannot continue this way. This is what is happening in our country. And we are busy celebrating profligacy, irresponsibility, and everything, when we should be diverting the resources to this place.
What's your message to the authorities?
To all of us, not just the authorities. To all of us who are today celebrating, thinking we are doing well. This is time to rethink.
Oh, we now get another war. Now our mama believe so. We now get another one. Now your mama believe so. Only me to know. Now your mama believe so. Now our mama believe so. We now get another one. Now your mama believe so. Now our mama believe so. We now get another one. Now your mama believe so. Now our mama believe so. We now get another one. Now your mama believe so. Only me to know. Now your mama believe so. Mama Nigeria.
And your mama be this year. And finally, right? Because we did touch on Kogi State today, and I've had this clip on in my kind of like archive for a while, and it is that moment when Keneri Dino was telling us about Wike. I've not heard from him in a while. I just thought, my mind just went to him, and I felt like, okay, Wike, your supposed nemesis who said he has no shame if Wike thinks say in the grace, he Keneri Dino in the mad. It's only Wike we have been hearing from since. Why was Wike mad? Nadino tell us in 2023.
My primary business is other people's businesses. If I open my can of worms and maggots on Wike, but I'm waiting for him. His territory that he's trying to practice is my own primary constituency, and I'm waiting for him. He's a pretentious character, he's a liar, and he has no integrity, no iota of integrity. Wike was calling me when Atiku Abubakar was to announce his running mates. I have records, and I've printed it out, and I'm waiting for him. He called me 19 times in 2 hours, begging us to convince Atiku Abubakar to make him the vice presidential candidate. So when I see him lying on TV, because of the south of this country, because of southern Nigeria, the reason moves to south, you that were lobbying us and begging us, promising us heaven and earth to convince Atiku Abubakar to make you vice presidential candidate, to the extent that he was at the airport. I have a video. He spent hours in the airport waiting for me to call him to say, Atiku has picked you as he was at the airport here, waiting, calling me. He was calling me, my brother and friend, who were in the Senate together, was also calling me that day. I have witnesses. I even gave the phone to Abdul Ningi to speak with him. I gave the phone to Senator Zameri to speak with him. He was begging all of us, promising heaven and earth. Atiku should announce him. It was around 1 or so that I told him, Oga, nobody will give you vice president. That was when he left and then flew back to. So the man who was so desperate to be vice president, because you didn't get it, you now started a southern agenda. I don't believe in such unprincipled, zero integrity character like Mr. Wike. The man, Wike was the one who brought Ayu. Wike was the one who sponsored Ayu. And that was why Wike made all the governors to endorse Ayu. That's why there was no election in the national chairman's office during the convention. Ayu was unopposed. Now you are saying Ayu must go, you want to go to the south. Maybe because of the alcohol he took. Maybe he thought Ayu is from Abia State when he was supporting him. Because Ayu is from the north. You are the one that brought Ayu. When did you now realize that Ayu is a northerner? But he was doing that time to satisfy his own selfish ambition of becoming the presidential candidate from the south. So he doesn't want the chairmanship at that time to go to the south so that it will not affect his ambition of becoming president from the south. So he pushed the chairmanship to the north and thinking he will be able to bribe Ayu to produce him as the presidential candidate. When Ayu refused to do the wrong thing, then Ayu became an enemy. Is it not the same Wike that removed his brother, his mentor, Prince Uche Secondus, as the national chairman of the party? If you love the South so much, why did you?
The more you look, the less you see. The more you look, the less you see. The more you look, the less you see.
Very Wike. And of course, PDP recommended him as vice presidential candidate to Atiku, in which Atiku ignored him to go and pick number 2, Ifeanyi Okowa. The rest, they say, is now history. And the same way Wike, who was spotted yesterday, giving a big Salah card to Tifnumbu, an image that initially generated a lot of conspiracies. Indeed, they said that it was in 2023. Like, they said Wike had stroke. He was dead. Some of them are even writing RIP for him. So seeing him yesterday was like seeing a ghost. So they believed it was an old picture. Even when we reminded them that Tifnumbu was not president in March 2023. Wike was not minister then. And in fact, 2023 Eid al-Fitr, Ramadan, did not end in March. It started in March and it ended in April. So the message to Wike was just for him to know that a lot of people that wishes him to die, there are so many, even though he is still here. But still, there are those who have already written him off. And don't be surprised when you see them celebrate the news that Wike don't die. There are people. So it's just to show to him that if there is a way he can mend his way or change his way, the best time was yesterday. Another best time for him to mend his way, since millions actually wishes to see him dead. There are millions who don't wish him dead, right? But the rumor that he had stroke, there are those who really want that to be true. So the best time for him to have started changing his ways was yesterday. Another best time to change his way is today. Tomorrow may be too late. So let's go back to a quick one. After Natasha's appearance, Natasha's entrance, Natasha's messages, we now realize that Natasha actually beat the Yahaya Bello of Kogi, as well as Olodo of Kogi, Akpabiole, and others. She beat them to their game, showing them that she's the wife of a billionaire, which I think makes her a billionaire as well, right? She didn't use any convoy, just one convoy. It's a chopper. told you she's an elite. She has the resources to actually fight Akpabiole. But somehow, they are underrating her. Okay? And somebody said, if care is not taken, that's how they said it, right? If care is not taken, she would eventually dislodge not just Yahaya Bello, but the entire APC out of Kogi State. She might actually end up being the first woman to become a governor in that your voting system. It all dream, some said, but whatever it is, the game is on. I am interested, and I want to see where this is headed. You know, there are so many sparks here and there across the contraption right now. A lot of people just want to see the one that is going to ignite the fire that is going to consume the system that keeps producing these criminals, by the way. Let's go to bed. I'm so sorry that I have to use the full hour today without taking calls again. I mean, did you enjoy it? I know people used to go and report to me and say, my ego did not take calls. Yeah? Well, is something wrong? Is, like, no, I just do what I like. I just do what I want. How I feel, by the way. And tonight, I promise you that I didn't plan on spending the entire 3 hours, by the way, but I did. And it's quite, it's worth it, isn't it? So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for all the support, the super chats, the likes, the comments, the shares, and then my GoFundMe. Wait a second. Everybody. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for joining me. So like, share, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, okay? So the next time I come on, right, it's just going to be you and I, all of us, right? So thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and good night from here.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Mayegun dayari politico. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti náà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Ayé ìṣúra jù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Máyégún máa wí.
Ayé ìṣúra jù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Ayé ìṣúra jù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òkúra olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
Ayé ìṣúra jù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ayé ẹ̀sùn ràgì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀gọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.